Hey, how's it going, everybody? Lawler here with some RLCS roster news. If you guys didn't see the latest, and as a reminder, Sunday night at midnight is when these rosters have to be locked in and signed up. The only ones that get an exception for that, because EU is playing second this split, is if you have no pre-existing RLCS points, you do have an extra week. So if you're a pre-existing team, ones that most people are talking about, then you're on the chopping block. You got to wrap up by Sunday. So with that, we've got a couple new ones, couple new developments, ones that people are pretty familiar with, and some not so much. If you guys are having troubles staying up to date on this, it's been about 4 days since we've updated it. We do have our RLCS roster document. This is your one-stop place for all things you need to know when it comes to rosters and so on and so forth. We'll update the documents as well with the new rosters when the time comes. If you guys need this, in the description down below for chat, ! RLCS rosters, or stop at the stream, twitch.tv/Lawler. Come hang out with us. We'll be talking about this stuff. With that in mind, there's 3 things to talk about. The first one, we've been wondering what's going on with the Eris Evo kind of combo, the former Pioneers team. Turns out it's just Aqua. Turns out it's changing altogether. Eris is not there anymore. It is Aqua that is remaining, and they're bringing in Evo and Percy to make it happen. So what was Omelette is no more, which allows teams to continue to move up the totem pole. If you're a team that is trying to fight and make it into what is those top 5, top 4 areas with last chance quals, less competition in the way again. What does that mean? What does that apply to? So you have Lion Blaze, who's still a free agent. Zenil we'll talk about here in a second. And there's a spot open with Tech. Common Talk, no third. If you guys didn't watch my previous video, there's a chance that one of those 2 goes to something like 9 lives. But we have seen Com Talk and Zenil scrimming together. Based upon what I've heard, I think Zenil is getting the 9 live spot. I don't think it's Com or Talk. I think Zenil will be getting it alongside Hoxer and Chicago. We will have to wait and see. That is not confirmed. That is just what I am hearing. What that means for Com and Talk, they've got to find a new third. They've got to find someone that is available, whether they go and try to look through the top 100 list and find a new untapped player that they want to invest time into or what. But like, it's slim pickings. If I had to kind of see what is out there, you either go for someone like Life. If you guys don't know Life, young kid, came in through Switch, has kind of climbed the rankings that way, and you just go draft and development type process. But realistically, I don't know who Tech would make their third. I have no idea what's out there. If they go with more of a veteran like Lion Blaze and kind of do a leftover type situation, maybe, but slim pickings. Slim pickings. So Percy, Evo, Aqua is going to be the former Pioneers team moving forward. They also talk about how they have parted ways. So that is confirmed there. Nothing you guys got to worry about there. The other conversation piece that we've been talking about is obviously with Gen.G and Shopify Rebellion, and it looks like it is going to be probably a 1-to-1 trade. What was the rumors previously is that they were going through tryouts just to see how it felt and how it looked, and it seems like both sides of this are happy. So Shift is reporting that this is looking like it is going to be a 1-to-1 trade. Justin in place for Reddles, Reddles in place for Justin. So for Gen.G, that would be Justin, that would be Magic Bear, and Cheese. Initial thoughts on this roster. Justin is going to have to be either the veteran vocal leader and really step up in that regard, even with Magic Bear being around for quite a long time, back when he was with Alpine, and then they became Torrent. But my biggest concern is, while you do have the support staffing-wise, I believe in the system that Raw Greg and Kevpert will dial up for 3 offensive-heavy players. I have more faith in that system, that process. I believe Gen.G we could see an improvement, but it is going to be a very different looking Gen.G, which I think is what is needed. The demo heavy, assertive, go for in-your-face type stuff, I think has to change. What it's going to look like, I don't know. I'm excited for it, but my concern is who is the vocal leader on the field? Because as great as Greg and Kevpert can be there when they're in scrims and when they're practicing and doing that kind of stuff, what happens when they're actually playing on stage or when they're playing in competition? Who is going to be that vocal person that is going to push them, keep them level-headed, which Reddles did so well. Reddles has always been that vocal leader. He has always been that kind of captain the prom king, as Spaceman and Corelli call him or whatever. But like, who is going to be the guy? That is my concern. Is Justin going to stay motivated? Is he going to continue to grind and do the things he needs to do? Is he going to take this seriously? Because losing that Shopify sponsorship or that sponsorship signing, they pay pretty well. They pay actually extremely well. So it is some change in that regard. So Justin's probably taking a bit of a pay cut. Hopefully he's motivated. Hopefully he's on a new opportunity, but he's going to have to put a lot of the pressure on his own shoulders. Justin's got to step up, and I think he's capable of it. I still think he played well, but it's a different environment. He's got to be the veteran. He's got to be the leader. On the other side, when we talk about Shopify Rebellion, my concerns are still the same. You've had a duo in Parth and Two Piece that has been together for over 2 years, and we have had the same results every single time. Now, they've been close. They've been within one goal of going to a major, which would have pushed them into Worlds last year. But my concern is that we are continuing to do what is the definition of insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. And we have seen Parth and Two Piece be together for a very long time with the same result. Now, some of my concerns in the past were they didn't have a vocal leader. They didn't have a captain. They didn't have someone who was a bit more assertive in their face trying to push them forward. I also don't know how Memory operates as a coach, but Reddles will provide that. Reddles will come in and demo and be in the face and be assertive and be a vocal leader on the field. Does that bring something out of Two Piece and Parth? Because my assumption is Reddles is first in rotation, Two Piece is there, Parth picks up the pieces. Whether that happens or not, whether that's going to be the way that things look, we have seen what happens with Justin and how they can get to moments, but they've been super inconsistent. I am very interested to see what Shopify Rebellion looks like. I'm a little weirded out that the ownership and the staff didn't step in and be like, listen, Two Piece Parth, we understand you guys want to stick together, but this clearly isn't working, and we need to, for financial reasons, step in and say, we got to change some things up. Again, based upon scrims, based upon results of that regard, I would assume they have some method to their madness. I would hope they tested out many different iterations. But I think it is very telling seeing Two Piece and Parth stick together again. I do have some concerns with that. I don't know who's going to end up on top. I don't know who the better teams are going to be. So, the key players that we're thinking about, the key pieces that we're thinking about. 9 Lives. Who is their third going to be? Is it Talk? Is it Zanil? Is it Calm? Don't know. Gen.G. We've basically got pretty good feeling that Justin for Reddles, and then for Shopify, Reddles for Justin. But what does that mean for 9 Lives? What does that mean for Tech? What does that mean for some of these other rosters? Frosty likely to Complexity at this point. You've got Kofor obviously guaranteed now on Space Station. My general assessment of it for now, I don't really see the depth from NA. I still don't feel confident outside of Energy and Ultimates putting up a fight. Space Station maybe in time. But outside of that, I've got some pretty big concerns. I don't know. Curious to hear what you guys have. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think these are going to be improvements? Or are we just going to have to wait and see together? Very interested to hear your thoughts. And if you guys want to talk more about it, you can always come over by the stream, twitch.tv/Lawler. Come hang out with us. Join the conversation on the Discord. All those social media links can be found in the description down below, along with a link to that document. That's going to do it for today's video. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.